Okay, so we're going to read this poem together, and then we're going to do the Big Six graphic organizer so you know exactly what you need to do. So, Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Do you take it awful hard? 'Cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of the history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. So here's your Big Six organizer. So please fill this out with me, and you will obviously get the points, and you'll understand how to fill out the Big Six. So I'm actually not going to fill it out because I want to make sure that you're actually listening and understanding the video. So here is the first thing that we're going to talk about, and that's structure. So I will write down some things, but then I'll erase them. So if we look at Still I Rise, let's look at the rhyme scheme here. So history and dirt, they don't rhyme, but lies and rise, that rhymes. And gloom and room, they rhyme. And then tides rise, that rhymes. So you can see that we have a rhyme scheme going on here. So anytime that something rhymes, you want to give it the same letter. If it doesn't rhyme, you give it a different letter. So you go A, B, C, B. So that's the rhyme scheme. So we're going to put that in structure. So A, B, C, B, rhyme scheme. However, it does change here, fear and clear. So it goes A, B, So that's the other. So we're going to say that changes to an A, B scheme. All right, and something else that we can look at here. So you can see that the stanzas are mainly made up of 4 lines. So that's called a quatrain. So you're going to want to do that. Put that maybe in there. Mainly made up quatrains. We can also say how many stanzas there are. So there are 9 stanzas. Oops. All right, so that's good enough. Structure. So then the title, Still I Rise. So obviously that is her point that she's trying to make here. She uses it a lot. So the title relates to the poem because it is a popular line throughout the poem. That's all you need to put. That's good. Speaker. So what is Maya Angelou like in this? I would say that she's quite sassy. So make sure you're using speaker is sassy. She's bold. She's inspirational. She's rebellious. She obviously wants to make a statement about who she is. And it's also just, she's feeling very, I think, what's the word? She's feeling like she can persevere. So she is giving audience all right, so good. We are 3 down, 3 to go. So here I would always say that you should paraphrase it first. We're not going to write this one down, but you can reword the poem or at least summarize it. So in the first stanza here, she's saying that you can talk down on her. You can say that she didn't matter, but she's always going to come back. She's going to prove you wrong. And then in the second stanza, she's talking about her sassiness, and she says that she is extremely proud of who she is as a person. Sometimes you don't have to do it stanza by stanza. Like, these stanzas are obviously going to be alike. So as long as you understand what's going on, a sentence or two summary is fine. So just like the moons and like suns with certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. So this is more of a metaphor, so we can kind of save that for the tools. She's talking about how people do not want to see her succeed, but she is going to do her best to rise above and be the person that she was meant to be. And then she does talk a little bit more about like how women are sexualized, and how she should not be criticized for how she acts or how she looks, and that it should not be a surprise. And she will rise above that. She does then start talking a little bit about her history as a Black woman and how her past is rooted in pain, but she's going to override all of that. So this is just a perseverance poem about her being better and wanting to rise above everything that was set against her, which kind of goes into the theme. The theme of this is to rise above and to always prove people wrong, and should strive to be your best self and to make people rethink what and who you are. So make them realize that you are who you are and you are your most authentic self. And then finally, tools down here. There are a ton of poetic devices, but I would say that the most used ones are similes, like dust, I'll rise. Right there, just like moons and like suns with certainty of tides, she will rise. So she's using things that do rise up, and she is comparing herself to those things. You can also see some alliteration at some places here that I dance, like I've got diamonds, dance diamonds. That's a repetition of the D sound, so that's alliteration. And then finally, allusions. She's talking about how her being a Black woman and her past, she's referencing her ancestors, and that is an allusion back to something. So I hope that this helps. Go ahead and fill out this with what we just went over, submit it, easy points there, and then you are ready to move on to the next thing. Thank you for watching.